We're all just playing here. And the question is, what game do you want to play? Sometimes we get bored with games. Sometimes we get bored with what we're doing, with how we're speaking, how we're interacting. We can be our own worst enemy, and that's a nice game to play. Yes. When you know you're your own worst enemy, you know that the battle between heaven and hell is within you. These aren't cosmic forces outside of you, and you are not just a pawn amidst such a war. No, the war between heaven and hell is within you, and it's not a war that can be won unless there is a truce through integration. When heaven and hell shake hands, throw down their weapons and shields, that's called merging duality. We ate from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, leading us out of paradise. Good and evil, heaven and hell. So, what game do you wish to play? And are you enjoying the game you're playing right now? Yes? Continue until another game is more enchanting, makes more sense. I'm just playing around. We've all heard this quote by Mr. William Shakespeare. The world's a stage. All the men and women, actors. Well, you are acting in your suffering. You are acting in your joy. You are acting in your anger. And there's nothing wrong with that, because it's authentic acting. You're acting out different scenarios in this incarnation, different possibilities in order to get to that narrow road back to the heart. So we play around in our addiction, we play around in jealousy, in greed. When we're feeling abundant, we're also playing around. How I'm speaking of this, one may ask, well then how can we stop playing? The universe is just about play. That's what creation is. Well, I don't want to play this game. Well, then play something else. You've been playing it, so obviously your innermost has wanted to play that game. And if it hasn't been pleasant, well, why do we like horror movies? Those of us who do like horror movies tend to enjoy the uncertainty and even the fear that comes along with such horror, because there is excitement. Yes, there is drama. Ooh, so tasty. So, I wouldn't be so sure that you don't love your fear deep down. But I agree. It gets burdensome when we're playing games of limitation. How about games of freedom? Because that's the game I'm choosing to play. That is the game all living souls inevitably enter. So you frolic within your misery, although it doesn't appear as a frolic. And you also frolic within your joy. And neither is better or worse. I do not condemn one who chooses to play the game of limitation, but one must know that it is limitation in order to play a different game. Is this making sense? A lot of things don't make sense. Because much we can't sense, you know? The depth, the beauty within my being, there's no beginning or end to it, so how can I make sense of something without a beginning or an end? So, isn't it about time we only consent to games that lead to life? We know what death feels like. We know what death feels like. We know what it feels like to be dead. And sometimes we have to kill parts of ourselves. Sometimes it's very necessary, but it's not the most comfortable. But once again, only after we've exhausted the games of death, of limitation. Only after we've put poison up on a pedestal and engaged in such self-cruelty, only then can we see that there's another game to play. A lot of religious and spiritual mindsets aren't very playful. There's this heavy weight in the realm of spirituality. God. Ooh, such a heavy word, isn't it? The divine. Ooh. Well, we can flip around all of these bogus interpretations and approach everything with a sense of play, a sense of wonder, childlike wonder, silliness, spontaneous, whimsical presence. That is what makes sense in paradise. You can know God, or the divine, or you can be the divine. You can internalize the divine, feel it completely. Therefore, no separation between play and divine being. If it's not simple, if it's not playful, it's not eternal. Which is such a relief. Isn't that a relief? There are oh so many complexities in this world. And these complexities are never ending. I mean, it's pretty interesting how we can dive into so many streams of information regarding the nature of reality and of ourselves. Why not chop away what is truly unnecessary? Because most of these details are unnecessary. Most details, period, are quite unnecessary. The game we all love to play the most, I'll make this claim, the game we love to play the most is the game that propels us into greater games. It's like I can't keep up stagnation. I'm propelled into experience after experience, which is absolutely enlivening, leading to ascension.